The Truth with G.
Yeah, you are now tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G.
All right. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy, Gerald Graham, also known as G. Once again, we are back to talk about the issues that matter to you and your community. Hope all is doing well. It is Thursday, the 8th day of February. We are 8 days. I think it's the 9th day. I apologize. It's the 9th day of February, 9 days into the Black History Month. Again, 28 days in February, the shortest month of the year that we get for Black History. But as I say all the time, Black History should be 365. We should be teaching our people and learning something every day in regards to our history. But I want to thank you for joining me today. Thank you once again for joining me. I appreciate your support. Appreciate you listening to the show. We are here every Monday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time is when we are on. And we come to you to give you information that you may not know. And for people who may know, just to enlighten and hopefully pass along the information, because knowledge is key. Knowledge is definitely key. But we are headed toward the weekend. I hope you had a great week so far. One more day in this week for those people, those Monday through Friday people. So I hope you have a good end to your week and go into the weekend with a fresh mind and a fresh attitude. Have a safe weekend, because we know there's a lot of things out there that could hinder us. So make sure you stay safe this weekend. Also, this weekend is Super Bowl weekend as well. So I want to make sure that you are aware of the Super Bowl weekend. I would definitely be watching the Super Bowl on Sunday. And I tell you, this year, I really don't care who wins. I just want to see a competitive game. I'm not necessarily a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I'm not necessarily a Philadelphia Eagle fan. But I can tell you that I am a fan of Jalen Hurts, and I'm a fan of Mahomes. So I'm just ecstatic about the fact that we have finally got to a point with two teams that were led by Black quarterbacks, and not being controversial or racial or anything of that nature. But, we in history, we have not had that to happen. At one point in time, there were no Black quarterbacks in the NFL. So to finally get to a point to where we have two Black quarterbacks playing in this game is historic in itself. So I am excited about that. But anyway, today we're going to talk about a few topics here tonight. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share if you will. And we'll talk about the other ways to listen to the show. We are on WPMM Internet Radio, where we play more music. We play the best in R&B, jazz, talk, neo, soul, independent, hip-hop, and old school music. You can listen to WPMM from our website, WPMMradio.com. Tune in, iTunes Radio, also on Alexa. You can tell her to play WPMM. She will oblige as well. You can also download our app from our Google Store, from the Google Play Store, and also from the iPhone App Store on any streaming device that you have. Just type in WPMM. We're also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So there's various ways you can listen to the show. Also, again, if you have anyone who is not very tech savvy, just text them WPMMradio.com and just have them hit play. Just have them hit, once you text it to them, just click on it, hit play, and they will be able to listen to this show as well. Also, the views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts and guests are of their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to align with any religion, ethnic group, country, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. As soon as I get my mouth working correctly, we're going to be cooking with gas here tonight. But once again, thank you for joining me. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. If you're out there, let me know you're out there. Hit a heart, hit a thumbs up, drop a comment into the comment section. If you want to get in on the conversation, just put your comment into the comment section on Facebook. Not taking phone calls tonight, so but I definitely welcome your comments. So if you want to comment on anything that I'm talking about tonight, or if you want for me to discuss anything particular, drop your comment into the comment section, and we would definitely change and talk about the issues that you want to address as well. Once again, this show is for you, about you, and of you. And without you, I would not be sitting here today. So once again, if you're out there, give me a thumbs up, heart, do something. Let me know you're there. One of my computers here is acting up for some strange reason. So if by chance I miss something, particularly in your comments, because this is the computer that brings up your comments, and if I miss them, I apologize. But I'm almost at the point to where I'm just going to slam this computer to the ground, because it's really, really getting on my nerves. But it's just don't want to act right today. So if I miss a comment, I apologize. But we're trying to do our best. I have to get, technology is weird sometimes. Sometimes everything works fine, and sometimes it don't. But a couple things I want to talk about today. I want to discuss on today. We want to discuss this word woke, if you will, because the Republicans, the right wing racist assholes, are using this word in a context that is not meant to be used, and I don't want you to be fooled. So we're going to talk about that word tonight, woke. We're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about the State of the Union debacle that happened. Biden gave his State of the Union address the other day. I think it was Tuesday night. And the Republicans really made asses of themselves. And then the response to the State of the Union was a bigger joke. And we'll talk about that as well. Also, we want to talk about the updated situation in Memphis with the Memphis Police Department in regards to the death of Tyree Nichols. Some new information has came out on that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some local news as well. We'll get to that. And also, if I can get to it tonight, we're going to talk about this fentanyl crisis as well, because this fentanyl thing is really, really, really getting out of hand. And but if you listen to the right wing dumbasses, Republicans, they're telling you falsehoods about this whole fentanyl thing. So want to get to that as well. So we're going to get, I tell you what, we're going to get to all those topics tonight. We're going to get to each and every one of them. And if I have to go back to something, then we'll go back to it. But let us not forget, once again, it's Black History Month. And people have been debating in regards to Black History Month as far as what Black people should do and shouldn't do, what we should, rely on, the government to do and not do. And, it always someone who will say that we need to educate our own people and not worry about other people trying to give us that education. And I understand the sentiment, but at the same time, we want this world and this nation is supposed to be about equality. Not necessarily the world, because we know we have some countries that are led by dictators or whatnot, and it appears that we may be heading that way, but we really don't want to get there. But when it comes to our Black history, we have too many people that especially now that is okay to be a racist, and take off your hood. When I say your hood, I mean your Klansman hood. You know, back when, if you was a racist and you was in the Klan, you hid your face so people couldn't see who you are. But in today's climate, people, particularly in our government, has made it okay to be racist, to show your face, and to be outspoken in regards to your hate for Black people. And they make that to be the norm, if you will. But with our history, particularly in the state of Florida, with dumbass DeSantis, we have a situation where he is trying to whitewash Black history. And I keep saying this: if he have his opportunity, I guarantee you he's going to try to cancel Black History Month. And I wouldn't be surprised if I'm surprised the state of Florida recognized Martin Luther King Day with DeSantis at the helm, if you will. So I think something's going to happen with that. I don't know what it is, but I think something's going to come down the pike. But anyway, back to our history, Black History Month. We should not have to just rely on parents teaching kids their history, because a lot of parents don't know a lot of Black history. We have people that are educated, that are scholars in history, that can teach us not just the fundamentals, but the intricate part of our history, the struggles and whatnot. And right now, the curriculum that's in our schools is not set up to where we're learning at, and trying to get that curriculum set up seemed to be an issue. The Florida governor said that Black history is not, and I'm trying to think of the exact words, that doesn't have educational value, if you would. That's what he said. He said the Black history course that was being introduced, the AP course, he said did not have educational value. So that tells you in itself that this man doesn't care for or like Black people, or want Black people to learn about their people, and don't want white people to learn about the carnage that white people created, and all the mayhem that they did, and all the killing, and all the oppression to keep the Black man down, if you will. He don't want white people to feel bad about what their ancestors done when it's a part of our history. And the point I'm trying to make, and I know I'm being long-winded in this, the point I'm trying to make is that when I say we, I mean Black people, if Black people have to sit in a classroom and be graded on learning about white people like George Washington, people like Thomas Edison, people like, we have to learn all the presidents, which all of them are white up until Barack Obama. We have to learn about all these different white people in history that did whatever they did. We have to learn about people in the Confederacy, people who were held bound on making sure that we stayed enslaved. We have to learn about those people. We have to sit in schools that are named after these people who were, their goal was to keep us enslaved. So if we have to learn about white history and being graded on white history, and where we have kids that are failing a history class because they didn't learn about white people, and this history class is hindering them from going on to the next grade, or from graduating, or whatever the case may be, because they didn't get that history credit when they were just learning about white people. Why can't that same standard be put in place for Black history? And that's the point that I'm trying to get across. It is If we have to learn about white people, they should have to learn about us, and we should be able to learn about ourselves in the public school setting and in private school settings and in our institutions. It should not be one way or the other. We've been forced to learn white history, if you will. And now we're being told that we can't learn black history. Sounds a lot like slavery. When we were enslaved, we were told that we couldn't learn. We couldn't learn to read and write because reading and writing gave us power, and that they could not let that happen. And now is just a modern day slavery type of event, if you will, because they're trying to keep us oppressed. In 2023, we're still in a situation where we have assholes like DeSantis that's trying to keep us oppressed and not allowing us to learn like they did when we were slaves. So keep Black History Month going all year. Let's not just let it be the month of February. Keep Black History Month going all year. We need to pressure these legislators and our school boards to allow the curriculum to be changed to where Black history can be taught. We need to change our legislation because right now there are certain things that if you talk about in school, it's technically illegal based on dumbass DeSantis and his racist policies. So let's keep Black history alive and let's keep talking about it and make sure that we get it to where we can our kids can learn it in the public school setting and not just from parents who may not have the knowledge, if you will. But anyway, that's my little spiel on Black history. I know I went off on a tangent there, but sometimes you have to do what you got to do. But if you're just joining us, it is Topics Thursday. We're going to talk about the word woke. And again, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me anything to let me know you're out there. We're dropping your comments into the comment section on Facebook. If you want to be a part of this conversation, just put your comments into the bottom of the comment section. I will read your comment and include you in this conversation. Now I want to talk about this word woke. And this word woke, it has been tossed around within the Republican Party from lawmakers, particularly in our local state government. One of his favorite words is woke, and he's using it in the context in which when he say the word woke, he is talking about Black people. If you recall, he said, and this came from his mouth, he said the state of Florida is where woke comes to die. And again, when he used the word woke, he is referring to Black people. So the state of Florida is where woke comes to die. And if you look at his policies, if you look at his history and what he has done since he has been governor, you will see that 99.8% of his policies have a racial overtone in regards to them. Everything from being able to protest, from I'm sorry here. I'm trying to get this computer still acting up. From what our teachers can teach and not teach in classrooms. This anti-woke bill that he has pushed through our state government, which translates into anti-black, if you will. My apologies. So there's a lot going on, particularly in the state of Florida, in regards to this word woke. But again, this word has been used out of context when it's being used by the right-wing assholes. And I'm going to throw that word asshole around quite a bit tonight. So y'all just bear with me on that particular thing. But Just to give you a little background, and as I give you background, I'm still trying to get my computer to function properly. I'm not sure what is going on with it. And this is again the computer. I use a couple different computers in the broadcast, and this is the one that I use to see your comments. So, like I say, if I don't read your comment, it's not that I'm not trying to read it. It's because my computer is not bringing it up. So I'm working on that as we speak. Not sure what is going on. And let's throw it out the window here in a minute. But the word woke. The word woke. I know y'all done heard, if you done heard it in a song, Stay Woke, they be creeping. Erykah Badu used it in one of her songs. There's been a couple songs out there. But the word woke, let's see if we got something going on here. The word woke, and I'm going to read this, and I did just a little bit of research to kind of give you the origin, if you will, of this word and the context in which it is supposed to be used. So the word woke, one, it is an adjective. For those English majors that are listening, it's an adjective derived from an African American vernacular English, meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. Let me read that again. It means alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. And to paraphrase that, it basically means for you to be aware of your surroundings when it comes to racism. And that could be anything. That could be from activities and things that happen on your job. It could be if you go in a store, where Black people are followed in stores or whatever. It means just being aware of your surroundings when it comes to racism. And again, the word that is an adjective. It's meaning to alert to be alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. Beginning in 2010, it came to encompass a broader awareness of social inequalities such as sexism, and has also been used as shorthand from American left ideas involving identity politics, such as social justice, such as notion of white privilege and slavery reparations for African Americans. Even though we don't take it to that extent, we use the word woke just again to highlight and be aware of our surroundings when it comes to racial bias. That's all it is. The phrase "stay woke" actually emerged in the 1930s. In some contexts, referring to an awareness of the social political issues affecting African Americans. The phrase was uttered in accordance by Lead Belly. He put it in a song. Erykah Badu put it in a song. Following the shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, in 2014, the phrase was popularized by Black Lives Matter activists seeking to raise awareness about police shootings in African Americans. After seeing it used on Black Twitter, the term woke became an internet meme and was increasingly used by white people, often to signal their support for Black Lives Matter, which some commentators have criticized as cultural appropriation. That means some dumbass white people tried to change the whole meaning. But what with this word woke, when people like DeSantis use this word, they're using this word to basically say Black people. Again, I said it earlier, and I said that DeSantis said the state of Florida is where woke comes to die. where woke comes to die. That's a quote from him. That's not anything that I made up. That's what he said. But the people on the right, the people on the right, and when I say people on the right, I'm talking about dumbass Republicans. And if you're offended by me saying dumbass Republicans, then just be offended, because Republicans, particularly Republican lawmakers, are dumb as hell. They're either dumb or they're ignorant. But they're taking this word and they are using this word to basically drum up their base, that 32% of racist people in the Republican Party. They are using that to make political points and to try to make headway with the base. If you watch, I hope you don't watch Fox News, but I watch it sometimes just to know what the enemy is doing. If you take a look at Fox News, you will, when they use that word, they are directly talking about black people. That's the only way they're using that word. The only context in which they're using that word, when they're talking about black people. And you have black people on Fox News that will use that word against other black people. And there's one idiot that's on there. His name I had his name right in my head until I said something about him. But overweight black man to be on Fox News, that's a complete idiot. If somebody know his name, please shoot it to me, because my mind went blank. But they use that word to create anger within the base, and that word has resulted in situations such as violence, if you will. Because we know that the people on the right don't have they don't have common damn sense. They will listen to anything. They would take any conspiracy theory and run with it. They will believe anything that their leaders say. Leaders like Trump, leaders like DeSantis, leaders like Rick Scott, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene. They will take anything that those people say. Marjorie Taylor Greene is known for using that word woke. She used it constantly, and we know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of the biggest racists in our government today. If you don't know, you know now. But it basically just means to be aware of things around you that has a racial bias, that has a racial overtone, how racism affects things such as on your job, in your neighborhood, in your local supermarkets, things of that nature. And it's not what these right wing assholes want you to think it is. So but again, if you want to get in on this conversation, or if I say something that you may not agree with, or whatever the case may be, drop your comments into the comment section. If you're listening on Facebook, we're not taking phone calls tonight, but you can drop your comment into the comment section on Facebook, and we'll talk about it. And I'm trying to get your comments. I'm still not understanding what's going on with my computer tonight, but we're going to work through it. I'm going to get your comment on here if you comment. But I just don't want you guys to get caught up in the bullshit I was trying not to cuss. I don't want you guys to get caught up in the bullshit where the right wing is exploiting the word woke, and they're using it in completely out of context, and they're using it to drum up their base. I don't want you guys to get complacent and start believing anything that is coming from the right in regards to the word woke and what is the intent of that word. I want to make sure that you guys have the proper knowledge and the proper connotation and the proper context in which that word is being used. So, and I also, for you right-wing assholes that may be listening tonight, I want you to understand as well what this word means and how it should be used versus what your leaders are telling you. And hopefully you got common sense enough to understand the basics. But dumbass Republicans continue to show that they just don't have common damn sense. So, but if you're just joining us, it is Topic Thursday. We're going over a few topics tonight. We've talked about Black history a little bit. We talked about the word woke. Let's move on to the State of the Union address. And I'll be honest with you guys. I've only seen snippets of the actual speech itself. The speech, the State of the Union speech, my understanding went on almost 2 hours, where President Biden stood and talked about the state. That's what it's called, the State of the Union. He talked about different policies that he has put forth, that he has signed, that went through our Congress. And these policies are to better the nation, if you will. He talked about jobs. He talked about we're back at the lowest, one of the lowest unemployment rates. We're adding jobs at a spectacular rate, if you will. The jobs report come out just about every month, and every month that we continue to add jobs. We still have to look at the fact of quality jobs, if you will, high paying jobs. But the fact that the jobs are coming back, we know that we bounced back from COVID. Everything is open now. And with us having the lowest unemployment rate in a long time, that shows you that these companies are hiring people. And it's not the crisis that the people on the right want you to believe. So, my advice to you, I keep talking about people on the right. My advice to someone who has common sense is to not believe anything coming from the right. If someone on the right, meaning a Republican, tell you something, don't believe it. And if you want to believe it, go and research it. Go and research the data, whatever they're telling you about. Make sure that what they're saying is accurate. And I can almost guarantee you that anything that they tell you as far as policy-wise is not going to be accurate. And it's funny how we're talking about the State of the Union address. It's funny how they acted in the state of the Republicans acted during the speech, and they called Joe Biden liars and this, that, and the other. And it's funny and it's hypocritical at the same time to how these people literally sat through President Biden's State of the Union address. They heckled him, they shouted out liar and this, that, and the other. But when the orange idiot was in office, every third word out of his mouth, every third sentence out of his mouth was a lie. Republicans were silent. So this is how stupid Republicans are. Republicans, you can tell a lie and they know you're lying and they won't call you out for lying if you're a Republican. But if you're a Democrat and you're telling the truth, they'll call you a liar. That's how stupid Republicans are. And if you didn't catch what I said, I apologize, because it didn't make it don't make sense on the surface, but that unfortunately that's the way it is. You can be a Republican and lie every other sentence and they won't say a word, but you can be a Democrat and tell the truth and they'll call you a liar. Now somebody make sense of that for me. Somebody help me make sense of that. If you can. I would definitely I would appreciate if somebody can make some sense of it. But the State of the Union address, Joe Biden, President Biden, is talking about things that will help the middle class, the lower and middle class. Every policy that he's putting forth, every bill that he's signing, is to help the middle and lower class. Republicans are too stupid to realize the fact that most of these Republican idiots are in the lower class. They're in the lower class, but they fail to. They're too stupid to realize that what the Republicans are doing is making life harder for them. But they're still supporting what the Republicans are doing, even though they're struggling, and the Republicans aren't doing anything to assist the lower class and the middle class. But they're too stupid to realize that. Well, let me take that back. All of them aren't stupid, because there's some ignorant ones. Stupid, you can't really cure stupid. You can cure ignorance, but you can't cure stupid. So you're stupid. Ignorance, you can gain knowledge, and you can't, and you will no longer be ignorant of whatever subject matter that you are addressing at that time. But we have Republicans, we have ignorant Republicans who just refuse not to be ignorant anymore. They don't want to be normal. They want to continue to be ignorant. And then we have stupid Republicans that's too stupid to be ignorant. I know I just said a mouthful right there. I know I did. But anyway, the State of the Union address was pinpoint accurate in what is happening in our nation, in our economy, in regards to inflation. He talked about the police brutality in that State of the Union address. He hit on a lot of different topics there, and again, the majority of it is for the purpose of helping the lower middle class. They helped, the Republicans helped him, and then what they did after, every time you have a State of the Union address, depending on the political party of the president, you have an opposition. When I say the opposition, the other party. Right now we have a Democratic president, so you have a Republican lawmaker, if you will, do the response to the address. The Republicans chose, and this is how stupid Republicans are. Republicans chose the worst person, one of the worst people that you could choose to do a response to the State of the Union address, which was Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She go by 3 names. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. If you don't know who Sarah Huckabee Sanders is, Sarah Huckabee Sanders is the former press secretary for the Orange Idiot. She served in the White House for approximately 2.5 years under Donald Trump as his press secretary, which means that she told more lies than Donald Trump. Somehow We have a lot of dumbass people in Arkansas that voted for her and put her in the governor's seat in Arkansas. So she's the current governor of Arkansas. But that's who they chose to give the response to the State of the Union. Sarah Ann Huckabee, the person that stood up at press secretary and flat out told lies from the podium in the White House. And if you listen, and I encourage everybody to go back and listen to her response. Sarah Ann Huckabee is her name. Just Google Sarah Ann Huckabee response to the State of the Union, and it will come up. I want you to listen to this response. I'm not going to call it a speech because it's not a speech. It was a word salad that really made no sense at all. That type of response, it sounded like somebody like Hitler would have. If you would sit down and have a conversation with Hitler, these are the types of things that he may say about America or Americans, if you will. But the Republicans always talk about division, but they're the one creating division. And if you listen to her response, you will see why there's division. You will see that people that think like her will never be able to think and coexist with normal people because they're too stupid. But I thought it was an insult to have Sarah Huckabee Sanders do the response to the State of the Union address. That was just, to me, it was just an insult to Black and brown people. It was an insult. And I think I think they did it with that purpose, with that intention in mind. Because why else would she have been speaking? But I encourage you to go back and listen to it, and hopefully you'll be as shocked as well. I ain't gonna say I was shocked because I expect stupidity out of stupid people, but I don't know. It was just it was an insult. It was slapping it was a slap in the face to Black people, and I think it was orchestrated. I think they did it on purpose because of their agenda, because of their stance in regards to racial bias here in the United States. So, but anyway, let's move on. If you're just joining us, still got enough time to share. Still got enough time to share. So, Topics Thursday is what we're doing today. We're talking about different topics of the day, news of the day. I want to move on to Memphis, Tennessee. Just to give you an update on what's going on in Memphis, Tennessee. It came out on yesterday in a report that one of the officers, and it had come out. It had been rumored that officer had took pictures of Mr. Nichols. Tyree Nichols is the one that was killed, was beat to death by Memphis police. But one of the officers, Officer Haley, a former officer Haley, took pictures of Tyree Nichols as he lay next to, as he sat on the ground next to a police car. And you can see in the video where he goes around and gets in front of him and bends down and hold the camera up and takes the picture. How many pictures he took, that wasn't discussed. However, with this picture, he sent this picture to 6 different people, according to the last report that I heard. It may have been more, but last I heard, it was sent to 6 different people. Well, I tell you, I'm still trying to work with this computer over here, so I apologize. Um, and it had been rumored. It had been rumored that one of the people that it was sent to, and they said it was two police officers. Um, I might have the breakdown here, but anyway, it's two people that they're not naming, and they're not showing the affiliation with the officer or whatever. But it's been rumored, and y'all know I don't deal with rumors. Y'all know I try to stay away from rumors. But with all the information that I've seen, that I've heard, that I've researched, one of those people that got that picture could possibly be the ex girlfriend or the baby mother of one of the officers' children. Which it makes this even more disgusting, that you are willing to use your authority as a peace officer to assert your authority on someone who's screwing your ex. That's just pathetic. And if it comes out to where that's the case, I don't know about the other officers, but if it comes out that that was the case in regards to this officer that took these pictures and sent these pictures as a trophy, if you will, or chip on his shoulder, I think he should. Well, I don't agree with the death penalty, and I'm not going to say he should get the death penalty. That's an easy out. I don't agree with the death penalty because I don't think man should have the right to dictate who lives and who dies. But this person should spend the rest of their life in prison. This person should never be able to walk outside of a prison gate again as long as he lived. So let me give you some background, and then we're reading this together, if you will. We're reading this together for the first time. Memphis Police Department documents show multiple violations by the 5 officers now charged with second-degree murder in the death of Tyree Nichols. One of those officers, Demetrius Haley, sent photos of a bloodied and beating Tyree to at least 5 people. That number has grown since this report has come out. According to the New York Times, the documents were part of the internal affairs investigation, which the Memphis Police Department used to request the decertification of the 5 officers. If granted, Demetrius, that is being Desmond Mills and Emmett Martin III and Justice Smith, won't be able to work as officers anywhere in Tennessee. Officials have reportedly haven't scheduled a hearing as of Tuesday. Demetrius is also the officer who forced Tyree out of the car without stating a reason for the stop or an arrest. The documents say Haley owned up to sending photos of the hurt and handcuffed Tyree to a civilian department employee, 2 police officers, a female acquaintance, and a 6th person received the photo, but it's unclear who sent it. Tyree died 3 days after savage speeding. He was 29, father and photographer, and a skateboard lover. So this officer, this police officer, and y'all know I'm hard on police officers. Y'all know I go hard, and I don't go hard just for the sake of just dogging police officers. I always tell you guys, I think there's some great police officers out there, but we have too many bad police officers. And I think that if you don the badge and put that gun on your hip, you should act accordingly. And if you don't act accordingly, I'm going to call you out to be the savage that you are if you conduct yourself in that particular manner. But these officers in Tyre Nichols' death, they acted or reacted in a unprofessional manner. They acted as a group of I've been used to the word thug. They acted as a group of thugs. This is activity. What they did is what you would see on the streets with gang affiliations, whether it be black gangs, Hispanic gangs, white gangs, whatever. This is the type of activity you see with gang affiliation, and that's how they conducted themselves. But they are supposed to be there to protect and serve. They're supposed to be there to protect and serve. And instead of protecting and serving the people, they killed Tyre Nichols, and which appears to be an agenda behind it. And the agenda was that they knew that Tyre Nichols, and I'm giving you my own opinion or my own assessment of this situation. They knew that Tyre Nichols, that cop, Haley, the former Demetrius Haley, he knew where Tyre would be at that point in time in the day. And he made sure that he was there when Tyre left his place of employment to leave and go to lunch, which he would go to his mother's house for lunch. He worked at FedEx. He would leave FedEx, go to his mother's house for lunch. Demetrius Haley knew that this person was going to be traveling on that street at that time of day and knew where he was going and knew what time he was coming back. So it's almost like he camped out and waited for Tyre to start on his journey. And then he said, oh, we have an erratic driver. We have a reckless driver. Let's pull him over. And you can see from the video that traffic stop did not go down like any other traffic stop. Even other traffic stops where black people have been killed, that traffic stop did not go down anything like any other traffic stop. That traffic stop started with an agenda. That traffic stop started with a personal vendetta. You can see it in the video. Watch the video again if you haven't seen the video. Watch the beginning of that video. You have never seen a police officer stop someone who was supposedly reckless driving, which could mean that he didn't turn his signal on to change lanes. It could be just that simple. But they said it was reckless driving, but they have not found any evidence of what the original charge or what the original reason for the stop was. But if you look at the video, that officer stopped that vehicle. He stopped Mr. Nichols' vehicle. He jumped out the car. He did not come over and say, "Sir, do you can give me your license?" or "Sir, do you ran a red light?" or your tail light was out. He didn't do any of that. And other black people that have been killed in traffic stops, at least they had the common decency to start with, let me see your license and registration. But he just immediately opened his door and commenced to pulling this man out of his vehicle. That you could tell from the initial response that was a personal situation and not a situation from a cop, a police officer, to a citizen traveling in his vehicle. So police officers have to be held accountable. And in that situation, that the way they abused Mr. Nichols and beat Mr. Nichols was totally uncalled for. It should have never happened. We should have police officers that are caring about other people. We know that a police officer have to fight crime. We know this. They have to respond to crimes or whatever the case may be. But you should be held accountable for being a human being. Human decency should be a part of your job. And they gave Tyre Nichols none of that. Every officer involved in that situation should not be a police officer. I'm not saying every one of them need to go to jail, but they no longer need to be a police officer. So more to come with that. We'll talk about that a little more. I want to kind of give you an update, not an update, but on next week. I just want to kind of give you a heads up. On Monday, there will not be a live show on Monday. I can say that with a certainty that there won't be a live show on Monday. Thursday show is still somewhat up in the air. There may or may not be a Thursday show. So I have other projects that I have to work on next week that's going to take a lot of my time. And I during the show time, I'll be occupied. And I think I'll be occupied. I know for sure I'll be occupied on Monday night. And I'm pretty sure I'll be occupied on Thursday night, but I'm not going to say that for definite yet. I'll be putting out my schedule for you guys to be updated on when I will be back live. If it's not next week, I will be back the week following that Monday. I will be back live on the air, but just stay tuned. I'll be posting on Facebook as far as the update in which I'll return. So next week I may be on hiatus for the whole week, but we'll see. I have a project coming up. I'll be talking about that. I know I'll pop on Facebook and talk about the project I'm working on, and just want to give them a few more details. I don't have the information with me today, so I'm not going to say anything about it today because I don't want to give anything wrong. But we'll be talking about that. But once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in tonight with me. So for the people that hung out with me tonight, really do appreciate it. Again, Black History Month. Let's be aware of what's going on around us. Let's stay woke. Regardless of what the governor of Florida wants. He says Florida is where woke goes to die. We're going to show him that woke is alive and well here in the state of Florida. So don't back down to racists. Don't back down. We have to continue to fight. We have to continue to move forward. Martin Luther King had a dream. We haven't conquered that dream yet, but we still need to get there. And we need to make sure that we are making the moves that are necessary to get to where we need to be to make the dream a reality. So, but anyway, that's my time. I'm about to get out of here. Once again, thank you for joining me. We'll be back on following Monday, 6:00 p.m. with WPMM Internet Radio. Until then, you guys be safe. Y'all be blessed. And I am out of here.